KHTS.
When I find myself in times of trouble.
Hi, welcome back. This is Andrew Cohen on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. This is the Legacy Show with Andrew Cohen. That's me. Welcome to the inaugural edition of the show. I'm here with my friend and colleague, tax accountant R.J. Kelly.
Yeah, and you gave me such a great send-off there. I just want to remind you, the show's about you. Tell us a little bit about you. What's going on in your life, in the community, and your practice?
Well, brief background. I've been living here in Santa Clarita for about 6 years now, and we moved here and find it to be true. It's just a terrific place to raise a family. My wife is a teacher in elementary school here. She's taught some different grades over the years. I've got two boys. They're 7 and 9 years old, and they're first and third grade, and three of them go off to school every day together, which is just fantastic. So really involved in the community. We do Heart Baseball, AYSO, soccer. I've become a soccer fan the last few years after being the typical American football, baseball kind of guy. But it's a really good community to live in.
Did I hear you have one on the way?
Yeah, we've got one on the way. Little girl's coming this summer. That's going to be quite an interesting experience, but I'm just super excited.
So estate planning, trust, that's important to you and your family.
It is. It really is. It's, I've updated mine, make sure that that's done, and it's really important thing to have. And people, unfortunately, aren't always aware of what can be done, or even the fact that it exists. So, and if you don't have it in place, you get the government plan. And we can talk much more at length over time on what that entails. But briefly, it's not the one you want. So let's sort of get back into what we were talking about today. And that is, let's say mom's moving in. And so now mom's here. You get along with her really well. She's in the house. What sort of planning do you want to do ahead of time? Or what's important to think about if someone comes to you and says, okay, we want some help. How does this affect us financially from an accounting standpoint? What are three main important issues that you might want to counsel them about?
Well, it may not necessarily be all about taxes or accounting, but parents are one of the few individuals that you can take as a dependent on your tax return, whether they live with you or whether they don't.
So role reversal from when you're a little kid.
Correct. Pretty much the exact opposite. And you're looking at when a family member moves in, it may benefit you a little bit more in the sense that you can pass the support test more. Obviously, you've got the relationship test and the where they live, test all met. But when it comes into the earnings test, you're going to be taking a percentage of your household costs and applying it towards the support of that individual.
Right. So that meets IRS standards, and then if you get to such a point, you can then claim them as a dependent, and that really benefits you, them, the whole household.
Correct.
To I guess the numbers vary. Is it?
Yeah, the reality is you're looking at being able to show that you're spending 50% of their support, and that's an important test. And if today's world, people retire, they're on Social Security for $15,000-$20,000. A lot of times they have a pension they've retired with,
and the more they have, the
maybe more difficult.
Might affect you. Okay, a little more difficult.
Maybe more
in terms
difficult,
of that.
But it's great to have the parent there or the grandparent there, obviously, for cuts down the babysitting costs.
Exactly, it's fantastic.
Maybe it's not a tax issue. Maybe it's just a home financial issue.
It's a home thing. Mom moves in, and it's really good. Like from my perspective, if someone's going to be moving in, I look at it from financial perspective, health perspective, all different things. And if you wait too long, and sort of maybe even the interplay between what I do, what you do every day, you need to have capacity. So we all want the best for ourselves, for our parents, for our kids. And it's really, really important, I can't stress this enough, to plan ahead of time. Because if you get to the point where mom's moved in and she's just there, maybe, she's lost a spouse, your father-in-law's passed away, and mom's moved in just because it's convenient, you want to do it. But as people start to get older and you lose some capacity issues, you can't make choices legally. And you really want to avoid getting a court-imposed conservatorship, guardianship. And even from the financial point of view, you want to become mom's agent. And if you're the agent can sit down, or the trustee can sit down and work with you as a tax accountant and really help mom make decisions.
Yeah, and it's important too to recognize that the more you're involved in their life and not necessarily making financial decisions, but being in the background and assisting them, the less opportunity there is for the unscrupulous individuals out there taking advantage of
That's a
people.
fantastic
And
point. Yeah, that's really true, because there's people out there that are going to try and just, really prey on some older folks now and then, or more frequently, depending upon who it is, fake boyfriends. I've seen all kinds of different stuff.
And they get confused about documents. I mean, I was doing a tax return for a woman, and elderly woman, 88 years old, and she kept getting in the mail these little things that looked very official with a county document stamp on it, and it says reevaluate your property taxes. She got 8 of them, and she paid for all 8 of them.
And it was nothing to do with the government, right?
Nothing to do with the government. It was just a company that was bailing
Just
out.
a
So
scam.
these are things that the children or the other family members can kind of guide and protect. And
if you have that, if you're the agent for mom, if you have that power of attorney document for finances and assets, for healthcare, you can do that. You can protect mom, and you really look out for her best interest. And from mom's point of view, there's a legal duty imposed on them that you don't have to worry about it. These people have to take care of you. It's your family, and they're going to do it very, very lovingly.
Yeah, and I think it may be a drastic phrase, but I think sometimes death and retirement are kind of in the same language, in the sense that you retire if you don't find a way to keep busy.
Yep.
You get old and you go downhill fast. And when you have a death of a loved one, that's the same thing. You kind of lose a lot of that.
You've lost a part of your life.
Yeah, and lost. So when you move in with family, or you get family more involved, it's a great support group. And then, of course, coming into now making sure that that your life is financially sound for the future directions.
Exactly. There's so many aspects involved, from different investments, tax perspectives, healthcare, doctors, and the world's just so complicated that unfortunately it's a little bit more complicated than just moving in. There's all these other aspects to it, and a lot of it, used to your own benefits and your family's benefits. You're talking about, I think a terrific one is just the dependency factor, in the IRS, and use that to really help enhance everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's terrific. So if someone comes to talk to you, what do you think is really important issue to kind of go over with them? Is there anything they can do ahead of time to prepare for a future point in time where mom or dad moves in?
From a tax standpoint, the answer is really no. I mean, the fact that the mother lives with you versus lives outside the house from tax advantage, there's not a whole lot there. But I'll think of a couple things during the break, and we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back and talk. We'll come back after the break. We'll be right back. This is Andrew Cohen with The Legacy Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.